Time to conclude the superheat action for the opening round of the 2024 season. It's Senior Rotax, Superheat B. Let's take you through the starting grid. Pole position will be occupied by Sverre Ubben, and it's an all-Belgian front row with Vic Stevens alongside. Macaulay Bishop and Mateo Denkovic round out row number 2. Jan Pinto and Mika van der Pavet are on row 3, ahead of Armand Hamilton, Mario Sidler, Boluet, and Gustavs Uzakovs, who rounds out the top 10. Devin Horst, Ollie Jonkers, Thomas Behrman, Ralph van der Pavert, Omar Ganoum, Christophe Saller, Laurent Legault, Danny Shields, Tom Lenoir, and Bram Plomp round out the top 20. 35 drivers will compete in this Superheat B, with 21st being occupied by Dante Sima, followed by Eva Anagnostiidis, Lado Kuhanidze, George Nassar, Luca Den Hartog, Arnaud Sabahin, Romans Rodinovs, Tino Sidler, Alexander Volta, Jake Bezelbeck, Magnus Brandt, Karl Korenik, Leonardo Principali, Pat Gubbles, and representing Birolart Middle East, the 350 of Adish Mehta rounds out the 35-strong grid. They accelerate, lights are on, lights are out, Superheat B for Senior Rotax is underway. As Sverre Ubben leads the field into turns 1 and 2. They are all trying to get through nice and neatly. Turn 3 can normally be a pinch point, as can 4 and 5. One car getting a bit sideways coming out of turn number 4, but manages to keep the throttle fully planted. But there has been an incident. A big incident, and who is it? It's a Dams racing kart, one kart mounting another. I'm not too sure. I did clock eyes, it was a Dams racing kart. I'm not too sure if Boluet might have been caught out, and that's the 382. Oh, Ralph van der Pavert didn't even take the start. The 382 is off the circuit, and that's the Canadian Arnaud Saboin that is out. But it is a bit of a frenzy at the front end of the field. Now, who is leading? It's Macaulay Bishop. Had a chat with the young man from Hoddesdon yesterday evening, and he said, we didn't know, the engine was fine. We think it might have been something related to the kart. So now, this is the opportunity after warm-up this morning for the Superheat, and let's see what Macaulay Bishop can provide in terms of either spectacular overtakes or can he pull a gap and lead the way. The 393 of Jan Pinto just got overtaken by Mateo Denkovic. Going through into turn number 6. Vic Stevens was trying to get through on the 333. But no opportunity there. So Armand Hamilton is now in second behind Macaulay Bishop. We're about to complete lap 2. And the young man, recently crowned Motorsport UK British O-Plate champion in this very category, leads by just 6/100ths of a second. But Sverre Ubben does not want anyone else to take the win in this heat. Because if he does win the Superheat, it pretty much might guarantee him to be on the front row alongside Jaden Teen for the top 36 final. Armand Hamilton starting to go defensive into turn number 7. And that has allowed the top 2 to bolt away into the distance. Look at the gap between Sverre Ubben and Armand Hamilton. So we are about to complete lap number 3 as Sverre Ubben up the inside through the final corner on Macaulay Bishop to retake the race lead. So Ubben leads from Bishop, Hamilton, Radenkovic, Stevens, Pinto, Usakovs now in 7th, Langlois now up into 8th, Jonkers and Behrman round out the top 10. So Ralph van der Pavert out, Arnaud Sabarin out. We are down to 33 runners and riders. There's Sabarin's kart on the left-hand side of the back straightaway down the Europalan. But things are getting a little bit closer now because Armand Hamilton has picked up the pace and is closing on in to the 2 in front. And there is going to be a change a little bit further back. I think it was Gustav Zusakovs that made the move. Well, Devin Rost actually, and he got past on Omar Ganoum from the UAE. Thomas Behrman rounds out the top 12 ahead of George Nassar, who's moved up from 24th on the grid and is currently P13. All dramas for Mika van der Pavert, so the 2 brothers not having a good superheat. Ralph van der Pavert had a disastrous qualifying, didn't even set a lap time, and still with the SR Solutions kart underneath him managing to make it work in the racing. Tom Langlois manages to get through at turn 9 on Matej Radenkovic. So that is a change for what is P5 on the road, but Sverre Ubben has now started pulling away. Bishop, I think, might still be having the same troubles as yesterday. He's down to 3rd. Omar Ganoum did have the fastest lap of the race, but hold the phone, Danny Shields down in 16th ahead of Ava Adagostiadis from Australia. Has just put in so Shields has put in the fastest lap of the race. Puck Gubbles is currently 33rd behind Mika van der Pavert, as Langlois went a little bit on the defensive behind Bishop to cover off P4. But Sverre Ubben has a 6.5 of a second lead coming into the final 6.5 minutes plus change and an additional lap in this race. As now there is a change for 3rd. Langlois has got through on Bishop. Bishop, however, counter-attacks. Uses the slipstream. Usakovs now up into P5. Great work by the young man from Latvia, based these days in the Republic of Tyne-and-Weir, not too far outside of Karting Northeast. So hello to the rest of the Hunter family and everyone else at Warden Law. And still the battles rage up and down the order in this second superheat for senior Rotax. Langlois putting the pressure on Bishop, who is having to, he's having to concentrate more in defence than he is on having to try and close on in on Armand Hamilton. And looking at the lap times, Macaulay Bishop last time around was a 56.5. His best lap time was a high 56.3. So the pace is not there as he would have hoped. And sometimes that does happen, that it's not the engine, it could be where the kart's not being as compliant or conducive to your driving style, and that's something you've got to take on the chin. And you just have to work the best with what you've got. And that's exactly what Macaulay Bishop is having to do. Coming down to the final 5 minutes, plus an additional lap of not just the Superheat B for senior Rotax, but also for the Superheats for this round of the championship. But Sverre Ubben last time around had nearly a second advantage over Armand Hamilton, who is trying to respond on pace. And the gap is still around about a second. Bishop still holding on to third. He's doing everything in his power as Matej Radenkovic gets a touch. That was from the 3-3-1, that was George Nassar. But there were other drivers going up the inside of him. So it would have been the likes of Behrman, Ganoum and Nassar that went through on Radenkovic. And there was a puff of smoke from when George Nassar clashed sidewalls with Matej Radenkovic for the briefest of moments. But you know what, it's not also about overtakes, it's also about doing a great job of defending, and Macaulay Bishop has tried to hang on again for as long as he can. Langlois has got back through for third place, but knowing Bishop, he was, feisty Macaulay Bishop, I see re-emerges straight away down the start-finish straight. He was right, then he was left, then he was right again, trying to do the karting equivalent of the Ali shuffle to try and get past and do a number on Tom Langlois for that third place. As Omar Ganoum has got past Gustav Usakov's mechanic by Dad Yanis. And Gustavs now finds himself in 7th place behind the XL Motorsport driver. Team manager Paul Hardy has been very, very busy in the opening quarter of this year. He's been all over the place, as XL Motorsport also competes in F4. There has been a couple of changes through at turn number 12. And, oh dearie me, Vic Stevens and Macaulay Bishop tangle on the run down to turn 2. Bishop gets through, but Ganoum mugs the lot of them. Well played there, Omar Ganoum, but Macaulay Bishop fires straight back up the inside at turn 5. It was close to being drama for Stevens and Bishop. Savion Peled saying, let's go Jan Pinto. Well, Jan at the moment, currently all the way down in 14th, has lost 9 places since the start of this Super Heat B. But Sverre Ubben is 1.2 seconds clear ahead of Armand Hamilton, as now there could be a change again. Thomas Behrman making a move up the inside of Usakovs, and they've got Vic Stevens, George Nassar, and quite a few others in the background, not too far away. So Christoph Salatino Sidler, who's made up 17 places, had 3 incidents yesterday. So Tino Sidler making amends for that. He's made up 17 places as the Swiss driver. First year in seniors for him. So coming down to the final 60 seconds, plus an additional lap of Super Heat B for senior road tax, and there was nearly a nigh on touch through turn 9. And the driver's literally chancing it. But now, Sverre Ubben brings us on to the penultimate lap. Tom Langlois, oh, we've got a kart backwards at turn number 12, and it's scattered everybody else to avoid. So yellow flags at Marshall post 7. Kart got going again. Who's tumbled down the order? I cannot believe it. It's Tino Sidler again. Unfortunately, he's not going to make it through to the top 36 for Tom Langlois, looking alongside and powers past Armand Hamilton for 2nd place. So Tom Langlois in the 3-1-4 started 19th. Mon Dieu, as they say. He's made a lot of positional gains. That's 17 in total. So, final lap of the Super Heats underway. Sverre Ubben has nearly a 1.9 second lead over Tom Langlois. Armand Hamilton rounds out the top 3. Macaulay Bishop holding on to 4th, and Thomas Behrman the 352. The young man from Chelmsford and Essex now rounds out the top 5 as there is a scramble. This could get a little bit messy at the back end of it. I noticed Lauren Legault and everyone trying to get into the same part of real estate through turns 3 and into 4. Tino Sidler has retired. That would have included the likes of Ollie Yonkers, Mateo Dankovic, but we have to concentrate on this driver out front. 2 wins yesterday, and now we'll make it 3 out of 4. Sverre Ubben books his place on the front row this afternoon. Ubben wins again here on home soil for not just Belgium, but for GKS Lemons Power. Winning ahead of Tom Langlois by 1.6 seconds. Armand Hamilton completes the top 3. Macaulay Bishop was leading, and a damned fine effort from the Hertfordshire driver to round out the top 4. Ahead of Thomas Behrman, who completes the top 5. Gustav Zusakovs, Omar Ganoum doing a great job, and 2 Emirati drivers in the top 8. Ganoum up from 15th to finish 17th, and George Nassar from 24th to round out the top 8. They finished ahead of Ollie Yonkers and Mateo Dankovic, who completes the top 10. Devian Hoss, Danny Shields, Boluet, Vic Stevens, Lauren Legault, Jan Pinto, Leonardo Principali, Eva Anagnostiidis, Lado Kuhanidze and Alexandru Volta round out the top 20. Completing the 32 finishers with Dante Sima, Mario Sidler, Mika van der Parvet, Christoph Sala, Karl Korenik, Bram Plomp, Romans Rodinovs, Luca Den Hartog, Jake Bezelbeck, Adish Mehta from Birrell Art Middle East, shout out Sanad Shanak. And then we've got Pat Gubbles and Magnus Brandt rounding out the finishing order. Tino Sidler out on lap 11 after an incident at turn 12. Arnaud Sabra out on the opening lap, and Ralph van der Pavet not even making it to the start.